cross price, and income elasticity. So far, all we've talked about is what is called own price elasticity of demand, how the quantity demanded of a good responds to a change in its own price. But the concept of elasticity is even more useful for that. It can be used to study how the quantity demanded of a good responds to the price of other goods, which is called cross price elasticity, or changes in income, which is called income elasticity. Okay, let's start with cross price elasticity of demand. And we're going to look at the case of substitutes here. Two goods that are substitutes for one another. Over on the diagram on the far left, you can see the diagram for good Y. Here, the price of Y is falling. Over on the right diagram, we have the demand curve for good X. Because these two goods are substitutes, as the price of Y falls, the demand for X decreases. Okay, price of Y drops, demand for X decreases. Now we can compute the elasticity between these two markets. We can take the cross price elasticity of demand, which is equal to the percent change in the quantity of X divided by the percent change in the price of good Y. Okay, so that's the cross price elasticity of demand. Now let's look at the case of substitutes. Here, notice once again over on the left-hand diagram, we have the demand curve for Y and the price has dropped. But these two goods are complements for one another. So as the price of Y drops, the demand for X increases. And once again, we can compute the cross price elasticity here. The percent change in the quantity of X divided by the percent change in the price of Y. So the cross price elasticity for substitutes, it comes from the fact that if the price of one good goes up, the demand for the other goes up. So the cross price elasticity for substitutes is positive. But for complements, if the goods are complements, if the price of one good goes up, the demand for the other goes down. So the cross price elasticity of demand is negative. And the greater the degree that consumption for the two goods is tied, the larger the cross price elasticity is for complements. Okay, let's look at an example here. If the price of coffee goes up, people will buy less cream because they're drinking less coffee, so they need less cream to put in their coffee. So the cross price elasticity between coffee and cream is negative because they're complements. Price of one goes up, demand for the other goes down. But if the price of cream goes up, people will buy more of other types of creamers, like Coffee Mate, for example, because these two goods are substitutes. Price of cream goes up, demand for Coffee Mate goes up. So the cross price elasticity is positive for these two substitute products. Okay, finally, let's look at the income elasticity of demand. We're doing something similar here, but we're only looking at the one market, the demand for X. And here we have a diagram for a normal good, saying that income goes up, so demand for X increases because X is a normal good. So we can use the concept of elasticity to measure how sensitive quantity demanded is to changes in income. The income elasticity of demand equals the percent change in the quantity of good X divided by the percent change in income. Notice that The income elasticity is positive for normal goods because if income goes up, demand goes up as well. But for inferior goods, income elasticity is negative. Income goes up, but we buy less because for some reason this is a product that people only buy when they have low incomes and can't afford the better stuff.